What is going on, people? Joey Talks Boxing. I want to give a shout out to Damian Flores for coming up with this idea. James Toney versus Bernard Hopkins. I'm assuming this is a middleweight fight, but I guess we could even do it at light heavyweight. But let's just do each one. So I guess middleweight would be the best fight because that would be the best Hopkins and the best Toney. James Toney and Bernard Hopkins are both very similar in that they both had great defense. Different ways, you know. James Toney was more in the pocket, shoulder roll, counter you, but he didn't really have the greatest footwork. Hopkins was more with his movement and his, expertise. Not as good on the inside, not as fast, but better on his feet. And I think better at coming forward. Toney was better at standing in the pocket and countering. The difference in their careers is the way each one lived their lives in between fights. Toney did not take it seriously enough. Hopkins got everything out of his career. And that's why Toney went almost 10 years without being a world champion. And Bernard Hopkins, he was the oldest champion in the history of boxing at 48 years old or 49 years old, whatever it was. He won the title at 48, light heavyweight title. At middleweight, I think I got to go Hopkins because I know what I'm going to get, and I think Hopkins will be more active. And Toney could be outworked. He had a lot of close fights with Reggie Johnson, with Mike McCallum, Montel Griffin. I know that was at light heavyweight. But he could be outworked. I think Hopkins would outwork him. It would be a good fight. I think both guys have really good defense. Hopkins can be a little dirty in there. I think that Toney, even in the fight versus Michael Nunn, when he came back from behind to knock him out, even though I thought that fight was pretty even at the time, but the judges had him behind, he could get outworked, Toney. I think that Hopkins would win like that. And as far as the light heavyweight era goes, I think Hopkins would certainly win because at that point, Toney was not even, he was not as dedicated to boxing, I don't think, as he was in his earlier years. So that era, I think it would be even, more likely for Hopkins to win. But I think the best fight would be at middleweight. So I'm going with Bernard Hopkins, unanimous decision. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.